Let's talk about child abusers and elder care. Our parents who abused us in childhood, and I'll be more specific to my mother who abused me in childhood from my earliest memories. And even if it only happened once, it would be enough. Once is too much. But my mother gave me a traumahood instead of a childhood. And eventually, as an adult survivor of her abuse, when I was big enough, I went no contact with her. And now she's in her 80s. And I will not show up for her. My brother can have her, actually. They have a very close relationship. Yes, he's the golden child. But let's say my brother didn't exist. I still wouldn't show up. Because my mother doesn't deserve my care. I deserve my care. I deserve not to betray all of the work that I've done to heal and show up and take care of her so that she can re-traumatize me again and I can go backwards in my healing journey, in my happiness journey, in my life in general. All of these people have come out of the woodwork. I did a video on TikTok where it states, if your parents abused you in any sort of way, you do not owe them care. I want to take that a step further. As a mother of 3, I didn't have my children as some sort of insurance plan to take care of me in my old age. It's my job, my responsibility to care for them. I hope they visit me, but it's not their job to show up for me. There's no contract there that says that that's what children are supposed to do when they grow up. The relationship that we forge with them, the foundation that we have in place, hopefully makes them want to, but it certainly isn't their obligation. And for a child who was abused at the hands of their parents, you wouldn't ask them to show up to take care of their rapist in old age. So why are you asking them to show up and take care of their abuser, who was actually supposed to love and care for them in their old age? And then going, oh, well, God's going to get you if you don't do that. And, what a horrible human being you are. And you better not show up for that inheritance. I'm not going to show up for an inheritance, but I should, and I have a right to. Do you know why? Because of the thousands of dollars that I spent in therapy to recover from what she did to me and from the ball she set in motion by pre-grooming me for other abusers. Because of the fact that she laid a foundation that set me off into the world, into my adulthood at a disadvantage, and also even sabotaged my education. At 17, I had to struggle to go get a GED, and she tried to stop me from doing that. She had the funds to help me go to university. Some of that money wasn't even hers in the first place, and wouldn't do it. Not only would she not help me, but she discouraged me. She did everything she could to tank every test I ever took. The pain, the suffering, the therapy, the mental health issues that I went through, all installed from her abuse, entitles me to compensation. That isn't free money. That's actually earned money. But I won't do it. And the only reason that I won't do it is because of the fact that I'm not giving her any more of my energy and tying up my life in a courtroom for a little bit of money that isn't going to change anything that happened. My point is to change people's minds and perspectives and to make people understand that when you hurt a child and you are the parent of that child, you lose your parent card that you should have never had in the first place. You lose that child in their adulthood. And that child never fully recovers from what you did to them, no matter how much we heal. We never regain the losses that were caused from the abuse. We will never know what we could have been in adulthood, because every time you created trauma for us through abuse, you altered us in some way. And now we're supposed to give our adulthood back to you by caring for you in your old age. As we live through an adult life, recovering from the abuse, never, ever receiving justice. People should be asking why child abusers aren't in jail instead of asking victims who survived them to grow up and care for them in a nursing home. Child abuse is a criminal act. And you know why we don't see justice? Because when we're children, we have nowhere to go and no one to tell. And if we do find a way to tell, most of the time we are not believed, especially if the violence was emotional. And if the physical was unscarred, how do we prove it? Who's going to believe us? You don't even believe us now. So for all my sibling survivors out there, I love you so much. If you're feeling guilty because people are judging you, consider the source. Somebody who judges an adult who survived child abuse for not showing up for their abuser is not somebody worthy of an opinion. They have no value to you. They're not walking in your shoes, and they very clearly have no brain and no empathy. But we do. Find the people who support you and just keep moving forward in that direction. And do your best not to allow somebody to alter your journey and you showing up for yourself. The first person that you owe loyalty to is yourself. And that's not selfish, that's self-love.